Colleagues tell me that there is a trend for people to work from home. Is that a good idea for my people? For quite some time, people have been talking about and actually working from home. The issues are not about your people, but in fact, how you manage your people. So in this episode, we'll talk about the benefits, the downsides, and the management challenges of people working from home. Look, outside of manufacturing or retail environment, very few of us clock in anymore. In the US, most of us work, say, 40 hours a week. In different parts of the world, it's a different number. But very few of us are given specific hours. So while 40 hours a week might mean 9 to 5 in the sort of average, we don't actually have to work 9 to 5. And as we get a more and more diverse workload, 9 to 5 just doesn't make sense. Think about that great programmer you have on your staff who wants to work from 11 to 7. I mean, do you really care? Think about the parents whose children have to be picked up or dropped off at school. If you don't care about the hours those people do, what you care about is what they do and how they work. Why do you care about where they work from? So, assuming they don't need to be in face-to-face meetings, why not let them work from home? Why pay for the office space? Why does it matter when they're on a conference call where they're taking that conference call from? The more flexible about the hours and location you are, the wider your choice of employees will be. And remember, we're trying to build a diverse workforce. However, it is worth remembering, of course, there are some remote employees you're going to have no choice about because they're in a division or they're covering a territory that they need to be in another place. However, there are downsides to people working from home. And typically those downsides come because of technology. Look, most professionals in the Western industrialized world have broadband or a cell phone at home. So as an employer, do you feel you have to pay for those? And what cost are you going to bear for those different things? Once you establish people working from home, it can be tough to make them come back in for face-to-face meetings, particularly if they're a long distance away. And you often need teams in the same place. Conference calls really doesn't create the same collaboration as really being in the same room. Now, you can use video conferences, but from home they're typically poor quality and are often one-to-one. All of that aside, the biggest issue with working from home is do you trust your employees to actually be working? So what's the management challenge? Look, the fact is there are some workloads, as we've said, that really are never going to be done from home. There may be manufacturing, there may be assembling, there may be a flow line type world. But there are some that can be done from home. And the truth is, do you trust that if your employees are working from home, they're doing what they should be doing? So it's about the trust you have in them and the objectives and the measurements you set for them. If you set clear measurement and clear objectives, then people will have clear accountability. And at that point, it really doesn't matter if they're in the next cube, the next building, or the next state. Well, the nature of your work may decide your company's work from home policy. The reality is the biggest influence on that policy may be the way you manage your people.